right, top of the evening, top of the evening. I told y'all I was coming back on, man. I told y'all I was coming back on. Uh, I didn't want to tell y'all my topic, but I told y'all I was coming back on. Right? Hold on. Right? I was like, yo,
between apps trying to
coming
figure
back
out
on.
who's cheaper. Here's how it works.
I'm gonna
You enter your
turn it
pickup
up.
and drop off.
I was like, yo,
Between apps trying to
coming
figure
back
out
on.
who's cheaper. Here's how it works.
I told y'all I was coming back on with a fire topic. And here it is, man. I wanna get some people up in here though, man. I wanna get some people up in here. YouTube, please send this out, man. Send this one out. I know a lot of times when I come on and I get to talking boxing, y'all don't never like to send out my notifications. But by all means, I need this one to get out. This one right here is something different. This one, we need this one out. We need this one out because this isn't nothing that is an overlooked topic. This is a world international topic that I think is important, right? But I want to cover from a different perspective. So please, YouTube, send out the notifications, right? Like I said, this ain't no boxing. I'm not talking boxing, man. Uh, we're turning it up now, man. Like I said, I gave the boxing community mad years. Still cover boxing, but we on a whole nother wave. Um, we on a whole nother wave. We're gonna let the boxing crows and what did John Hope call them, the buzzings rock out. You guys can have it. You guys can have it. I don't want that lane because I actually do that lane. So you guys can have it. You guys could continue to do what you do, be buzzings and crows and what I like to call jealous fans in that lane. Because in a second, most of y'all are gonna have to return back over here. Because if you see what's really going on, the sauce is really growing. The sauce been outgrew just covering boxing and boxing content. Truth be told, right? But what I want to talk about tonight is the Don Megatron. Don. Yes, Donald Trump. Is he the biggest gangster? The biggest gangster in the world, right? And I'm gonna define gangster. We're gonna look all this up. But is Donald Trump the biggest gangster in the world? Is he? Is he the biggest gangster, man? He just did a gangster hostile takeover. Is he the biggest gangster in the world? Right? Is he the biggest gangster in the world? Right? When you come in here, put your 2 cents in the kitty, right? Is Donald Trump. Is this man right here the biggest gangster in the world? Right? The biggest gangster. Because what he just did to Venezuela yesterday, and I covered this, y'all. I covered it to set up what I'm going to do tonight. But I was covering this yesterday. And I was asking, I was like, yo, are you guys paying attention to what is going on? Are you guys paying attention to what just took place? What Donald Trump and the U.S. government just did, but more importantly, Donald Trump. Because at the end of the day, for those of y'all that are not underneath a rock or somewhat enlightened and educated, right? Donald Trump's title is the what? Commander in Chief, right? But this is organized. This is the judicial system. This is the government. So his title is legit. But if we are going to break this down on what I called him Don Megatron, Don, right? The gargoyle, right? He is a gangster. Is he the biggest gangster in the world? Right? He's not a blood or a crip, a vice lord, a GD. He's the commander in chief, but what he did yesterday was gangster. It was gangster. Right? And if we look up what a gangster is and what gangsters do, right? That's what he did yesterday to Venezuela. Right? But being that he is the commander in chief of the United States president, not only was it justified, they reported on it. He briefed the media, right? But let's define a gangster hostile takeover, right? And shout out to the people that reported on it that said that he kidnapped the Venezuelan president and his wife. He abducted them, right? Uh, Took them and held them hostage. There's a lot that could be said what he did. There's a lot. But is he the biggest gangster in the world, man? 5 people in here. Somebody put it in the comment section. Is Donald Trump the biggest, most feared gangster in the world, man? Is he the most feared gangster in the world? Right? Is he? Look, let's go to Google. Right? Of a gangster. Let's see what Google says. Let's see what Google defines. All right? And we're gonna see what Donald Trump does he fall under any of these categories. A member of a gang or violent criminals. Okay. Is Donald Trump a member of a gang of violent criminals? Well, he is the commander in chief of the United States. As the commander in chief of the United States, he is in charge of violent, organized killers, the military. Right? That's where it gets a little sketchy, but a member of a gang or violent criminals. So they would not consider the military criminals, but he is a member, he's a leader of the military, the commander in chief. So he's a gangster, man, right? But he's an organized gangster. Look, what makes a person gangster? A gangster is a member of a criminal organization or gang involved in systematic illegal activities. So the taking down of Venezuela and uh, kidnapping or abducting a president was not considered illegal, but if you read this definition, it falls under all of this, right? Systematic illegal activities characteristic by hierarchy, rules, violence, profit from rackets like drug dealing, extortion, differing from lone criminals by their group affiliation and organized structure. Don Megatron is the biggest gangster in the world, man. if we're listening to these Google, this is Google here. Definition of a gangster, right? It means belonging to a structured criminal collective focus. He is the commander in chief of the United States military. I believe that is a structured collective focus, right? But it's not illegal, it's not criminal, it's organized. Is Donald Trump the biggest gangster in the world? Listen, often displaying traits like coldness and disregard for the norms. Is Donald Trump the biggest gangster in the world? Right? Don't get low now. Please comment, man. This is a different type of motion over here we're speaking on, man. Is he the biggest gangster in the world? See, I know so many of you guys that have been watching my content for the last 7 years in the bushes. A lot of you guys have been secretly plotting, wanting to undermine me as a digital creator, content maker, and boxing because you was in the jealous fan zone section. But we're not even talking about boxing right now. I told you guys, you crows, you buzzards, you pigeons and chickens and job turkeys, do your thing with that, man. We're talking some substance. Is Donald Trump a gangster, man? The biggest gangster in the world, right? Traits, psychological traits. They lack remorse, empathy, focus on the power. The drive for money leads to power, right? That was over power yesterday, right? Drugs and oil. These are the traits that if you Google search traits of a gangster, Don Megatron, smash the like button, man, and put your thoughts in the comments, man. Is Donald Trump the biggest gangster in the world, man? Is he the biggest gangster in the world? We just watched a hostile takeover. Look, let's look. Oh, I'm gonna look that up next, right? I'm gonna look that up next, man. All right? He abducted another president and his wife on foreign soil. Foreign soil. Is he the biggest gangster in the world? Man, you guys are in here on mute, man. Let that soak in, man. I am going to go grab a bev, right? Let that soak in, man. A lot of y'all been in and out, scared to comment. Some of y'all are probably from the box and bushes. Like, yo, you guys can have that lane, man. I was watching a whole bunch of these goofies, man. Yeah, these niggas been so systematic programmed to not support digital creator content, right? That today, hold on, let me go get my drink. See, what I did today was, right? I was at the desk heavy. So what I did today was I put out a lot of content like I always do, right? But what I pay attention to is not right now, especially when I'm at the desk, I match energy. I match energy, right? So when I logged on this morning, um, I got to putting out my content, right? I overlooked my analytics and different things. I seen what was going on, and I said, I put out a video, a remix video. I seen my tracks, NYC content was doing good, right? And I did my live stream this morning, and I hit my brother up, and he was home, and he sent me the merchandise videos and pictures and stuff like that. And I got a hold of my team, and I got that out. I did not put out no boxing. I seen uh, different boxing posts. I did not even jump on the wave, right? I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stay clear of this because what I've come to realize, most boxing content does not trend. And the reason why it does not trend is because the digital content creators on the boxing scene are crows. That is why I put out the remix to the John Hope Bryant, because most of the digital content creators don't have their own identities. They're not leaders, they're followers, right? A lot of them not only are followers, it's easy to program them to follow a trend. They're easy to be tricked. So when I noticed that, right, I seen a couple of things was going on. Like right now, uh, the next big fight that is coming up is the Shakur Stevenson uh, fight at the end of the month. But prior to that, you have Andy Cruz a week before that in Vegas. So right now, there's a lot of action in Vegas. I think Shakur's having his camp there because his younger cousin, who fights on Matchroom, is on that card in Vegas. So a lot of the action is in Vegas. I did not report on none of this because I was just watching with a watchful eye. And I was like, look, there's nothing really going on in boxing. So I did not touch on no boxing. But I said, damn, Tracks NYC is trending. And also the hostile takeover of the Don Don Megatron. Then the NFL front, which is always trending because it's the NFL. This is Sunday, it's the NFL day, right? Miles Garrett, who broke Michael Strahan's single sack season record, spoke on that. But the international trending topic is what Donald Trump and the United States government military forces did yesterday. So I want to put my source on it and say, is he the biggest gangster in the world? The most powerful, strongest gangster in the world? Because when we talk about gangs and organizations, they are not criminals because he's the commander in chief. But when you break down a gang structure, that is what Donald Trump controls as the commander in chief of the United States of America. He has arguably the strongest, right, um, military force in the world, right? Is the United States a superpower, right? Aren't they a superpower? He controls one of the largest military forces. He is a gangster. Now, a lot of y'all been in here just watching and listening, scared to comment, man. Scared to comment. You know what they need? They need a I know Instagram needs this big time because my Instagram insight, my analytics on Instagram is crazy right now. The viewership is like retarded on Instagram. When I put up a post now on Instagram, but Instagram used to do it for a long time. They used to shadow ban my shit. Now they don't shadow ban it, right? What they're doing is they're showing all the views. I wish they had something where I could see the amount of people that are viewing that don't hit the like button. because my views be in the hundreds, but they will not hit the like. But the ones that I can tell that are watching, because they try to copy. They copy. They let me know. They let me know. The other ones that are watching, they let me know too because they're competing. They're the CNC factory. They're copying and they're competing. Like if I put out a post, right, and you match the post. That's what I said. That's what I'm doing. I'm just matching energy, right? You try to emulate it. You're letting me know that you're watching. You did not hit the like button on mine, but now you're trying to copy. I've been catching that a lot of that. A lot of that shit has been going on. But that has been going on for quite some time. It's just now, like I said, I am just on a whole nother wavelength with it. And I really be like tied in with it. I don't want to talk now, man. I'm busy doing the Dawn Megatron. This is the Dawn Megatron hour. But it's Donald Trump, the biggest gangster in the world. We know he's the biggest gangster in America. He showed that already. He showed that what he was doing, the shit with the ice. Um, and I think New York City, he's gonna flex on New York City real soon because we have a Islamic. Well, they do. I don't fall underneath New York City politics, being that I am a Long Islander, but I am a New York resident. But I think the boroughs, y'all about to get a rude awakening in a hot second, man. Um, with the new Islamic mayor, I don't think him and Donald Trump see eye to eye. I know that could be a whole nother stream, especially with this stream right now. It's like hasn't been too much engagement. That's why I don't know how long I'm going to stay on. Because, like I said, people been in and out of it, but nobody is, nobody wants to comment, right? And YouTube, please do me a favor. Do a better job. Like tomorrow, if I do go live and I'm back at work, you won't hesitate to uh, thrust my analytics or my algorithm and put me in the mix and have all the weirdos popping out, commenting about my teeth and um, get a job and all this, all the goofy shit. Where are they at now? This is a look. You know why you're not bringing them over here now? Because what I'm speaking on not only has merit and substance, it's powerful. It's powerful. So now you want to make it seem like three, four, five people are coming up in here. Like I said, tomorrow morning, if I go live in the truck, I'm breaking down the truck, I'm cleaning out the truck, you won't hesitate to have 50, 40 people in here talking about, oh, your tooth is cracked. Go to the dentist, all the dumb shit. But what I'm speaking on is the president, the biggest gangster in the world. Not only do you not want to send anybody over here, it's like you have the comment button on mute. I'm gonna let this marinate for a hot second. I'm looking at some stuff on the internet. I think Trump is the biggest gangster. He just flexed and showed he kicked 2026 off, making a statement, man. All right. Let me make sure my mic is on. Is my mic on? Is my mic on, man? Oh man, you know what? I'm about to get off and enjoy some other content making. I see this guy is on uh, Gully TV. I want to see what Gully TV is talking about. Matter of fact, I can you know what? Gully TV. Right? He's live to dribble. Look, 1,000 people watching.
And I'm getting the understanding that the nigga that I'm with, he's strapped. He got paper. He got paper like a motherfucker. And I'm saying to myself, I want to do a good job with this motherfucking music video. Because if I do a good job, then he'll continue to let me do his videos, and I probably can get some of that money that the nigga got. We go to his house. He lives by himself. He don't got no kids. I'll never forget this night, because I was going to email the video files to my video editor. I told them niggas that I knew how to edit videos. I just know how to shoot. I told them niggas that I knew how to edit them and everything. I took all the accolades, right? I don't know how to edit no motherfucking videos. I got this motherfucking MacBook. All I know how to do is to drop this footage out this camera from the SD card into this motherfucking computer. I did not know how to edit, period. I'll never forget this night, because when we got to his crib, he was tired because he drove the whole way back from Miami to New York City.
Damn.
The nigga gave me the remote control. I'm on his couch. He gave me the remote control. This is the first time I've encountered Netflix. I heard about it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't have any idea what it was. I didn't know nothing about streaming movies and that. The nigga gave me the remote. He put some sour diesel on the fucking coffee table. He was like, I'm going to bed. Threw the weed on the coffee table. Passed me the remote control for Netflix. I ain't never fucked this shit before in my life. Like I said, I'm in the streets. I'm not watching TV. My whole world is DVDs, in the streets selling drugs, and World Star. I don't even watch TV. I missed Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony's whole career. I was in the streets, them niggas' whole career. I didn't see none of that shit. I used to hear, and I'm into basketball, but the streets had took me. I used to hear people talking about Carmelo Anthony when them niggas Syracuse won the national championship and he went on to the league and he's a big deal in the league and shit. Like I wasn't in tune with none of that shit. And I didn't know nothing about no goddamn Netflix. That nigga passed me that remote control. I got to flipping through that shit.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna end my live stream, y'all.
Damn.
And get into
And if I'm not
it's Gully
mistaken,
TV,
he didn't
man.
have a TV.
But Donald Trump, hold on, let me put this
A
on.
projector screen.
Yo, Donald Trump is the biggest gangster in the world. We define what a gangster does and how he moves. Everything that Donald Trump does falls underneath that. But the line is drawn because he is the commander in chief. So what he deems to do is not criminal because he is the commander in chief. But if you really dive in deep, he is the biggest gangster of organized, non criminal powers, the military, uh, the super military at that, right? Because he has all of the Marines, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force at his disposal, right? But hopefully you guys enjoyed this source. Like I said, tomorrow YouTube, y'all will throw me out there when I'm in the truck, and it'll be a million people popping in, talking about my teeth. Oh, you're ugly and all this dumb shit. But it is what it is, man. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. The News by Shanewz, Media Marketing Management, Motion Talk. You do have options. I holla.